Shabbat Shalom. Okay, we're going to be in our Torah portion, Korah. It'll be in Numbers chapter 17. If you'd like to follow along. However, before we read it, the setting is that there is grumbling in the camp. There's a rebellion. And Korah and his people end up getting swallowed by the earth, as the scripture tells us. And the next day, the people of Israel grumble against Moses and Aaron and their leadership and such. The Lord tells Moses and Aaron to leave the congregation so God may consume them in an instant. And Moses and Aaron kind of plead on their behalf. And Aaron, at Moses' command, puts incense on the altar, and the scripture says, and made atonement for the people. In 16:48 through 50, it says, and he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stopped. Now those who had died in the plague were 14,700, besides those who died in the affair of Korah. And Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance of the tent of meeting when the plague was stopped. Okay, if everyone would please rise in honor of hearing the Torah being read. Blessed is the Lord, the Blessed One for all eternity. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has selected us from all the peoples and has given us his Torah. Blessed are you, Lord, giver of the Torah. Numbers 17, 1 through 11. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the people of Israel and get from them staffs, one for each father's house, from all their chiefs according to their father's houses, 12 staffs. Write each man's name on his staff, and write Aaron's name on the staff of Levi, for there shall be one staff for the head of each father's house. Then you shall deposit them in the tent of meeting before the testimony, where I meet with you. And the staff of the staff of the man whom I choose shall sprout. Thus I will make to cease from me the grumblings of the people of Israel, which they grumble against you. Moses spoke to the people of Israel, and all their chiefs gave them staffs, for one for each chief according to their father's houses, 12 staffs. And the staff of Aaron was among their staffs. And Moses deposited the staffs before the Lord in the tent of the testimony. On the next day, Moses went into the tent of testimony, and behold, the staff of Aaron for the house of Levi had sprouted and put forth buds and produced blossoms, and it bore ripe almonds. Then Moses brought out all the staffs from before the Lord to all the people of Israel, and they looked, and each man took his staff. And the Lord said to Moses, put back the staff of Aaron before the testimony to be kept as a sign for the rebels, that you may make an end to their grumblings against me, lest they die. Thus did Moses as the Lord commanded him, so he did. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who gave us the Torah through his servant Moses, and the realization of grace and truth through his servant Yeshua, our Master and Messiah. Blessed are you, O Lord, giver of the Torah, grace, and truth. You may be seated. So as we just read, each tribal leader is to take their staff and write his name on it. Kind of seems that that's symbolic, that the leaders of the tribes had a staff as a symbol of their authority, perhaps, to represent their office as leader for each tribe. We see that both staff and tribe come from the same Hebrew word, mateh. We see the tribes as matot, and so we see that connection of staff and tribe. This story could be, came to my mind when I was reading this. We use the phrase staff of office. That could be very symbolic of that. Also the staff the office that in this case Aaron is going to be as leader. So the test of the tribes with their staffs will determine one tribal leader from among the tribes, all the heads of all the others. And verse 5, and the staff of the man whom I chose shall sprout. Thus I will make to cease from me the grumblings of all the people of Israel, which they grumble against you. To Moses and Aaron. And so Moses deposited the staves. It says, Lifnei Adonai, before the Lord, in the tent of the testimony. And in verse 8, on the next day, Moses went into the tent of the testimony, and behold, the staff of Aaron for the house of Levi had sprouted. That's all it would have needed to have taken place. And the scripture says, and it put forth buds, and produced blossoms, and it bore ripe almonds. So it was kind of an obvious sign, this Aaron is the chief here of the tribes. So in this, we can see, a picture of resurrection. We can see this dead staff as God has made it to bear fruit. It brought forth buds and blossoms and almonds. And Aaron's dynasty is to bear fruit in leadership in this case. So, as we also know, scriptures use this phrase to bear fruit. We see it as in, Adam and Eve to populate the earth, bear fruit and be many. And also that we are to be the fruit of Messiah. When we are grafted into the vine, we get our nourishment and our attachment to Him. As we see, like the symbolism that we see in John chapter 15, especially, and we are to bear fruit, the fruit of Messiah, our actions, our thoughts, our deeds, showing the world who God is and what He's like. And that our actions would be His actions. The almond staff is also a picture of us in a way. And I just took this verse from the book of Hebrews as an example. For those who have been far off, being like symbolic of death, have been brought near unto God through life. So ultimately, on an eternal perspective, that we are promised unto death until we are washed by the blood of Messiah. And whereas normally blood stains clothes, it stains, and the blood of Messiah cleanses. So with that, let's process the work of God in our lives. All of our stories are different. Our experiences, our testimonies are all different in how God lured us in to the faith. Even if you were raised into the faith, you still had to make that choice on your own. And so let's remember the business of the Father that He would have us all to do, and let us reflect on the things that we are eternally grateful for. And so may those things feed our zeal, our passion, our direction, our decisions, and ultimately our perspective on every situation that we go through in life. And so with that, I say amen, may it be so, and thank you for your time.